Welcome back, y'all. We're back here in my room, in Kieran's room. It's snowy as hell outside. It is not nice here today. And we're recording a rare daytime episode. We never really do this, do we?
No, we don't, because I worked in today. So we have a little scheduled break just to give you guys the Shift Gear podcast.
Yeah, you throw on the busy on Teams and you're like, all right, I'm busy. So, more excitingly, we have another sponsor for today's video. And on top of the sponsor, we also have a giveaway. So, we'll announce the giveaway after. I know that's all y'all care about, but I got a good sponsor role for you here, okay? This episode is proudly sponsored by Jingyang Dumplings and Noodles. They serve the most authentic handmade Szechuan-style dumplings and noodles, located in Rosedale, Toronto, Canada, or Chengda, China. Visit today and mention you're from the Shift Gear podcast, and you will get a free bowl of fiery chili oil wontons. Guys, it doesn't get better than that, man. You need a free bowl of wontons when you say you're from here.
No, I love it.
Go there today.
No, it's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to the owners of the noodle shop, Sunny and Adrian, for sponsoring this week's episode. Really appreciate it, guys. So yeah, all you guys, please go check them out. Fantastic noodles and wontons there.
And wait, before I carry on, do we know if this is a real place?
It's like real in our hearts.
Okay, so it's like Ali Reza Shawarma.
Like Ali Reza Shawarma.
The amount of people that like quote tweeted or like responded back to me and sent a picture of that guy's backyard at 875 Steeles Avenue last week was insane. Like, so many people were like, yo, where's this place? And they just sent me pictures of some dude's backyard. So I'm sorry for anybody who may have traveled there, but I warned you, it was cap.
No, but if the demand is high enough, I think Adrian and Sunny should make this a real place.
Oh, 100%.
And then they should do that promotion for the Shift Gear listeners.
I mean, I might walk into a Chinese restaurant today and I'd say I'm from the Shift Gear podcast, see what happens. Just to pretend we're famous and see if something happens.
All right, yo, next time we go to Rolson, we'll ask.
Yeah, done. Easy. So, excitingly, you have a giveaway that you want to announce for all the listeners this week. And this is the first time we've ever done this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, so to celebrate Giratina's success at the Portland Regional Championships, we're giving away 2 copies of Giratina V-Star, graciously given to us by Manta Trades, located up in Markham. So thank you so much, Manta, for supporting us in the podcast and for our listeners. So yeah, to enter, all you got to do is follow Anil and myself on Twitter, at Kieran_TCG, at TCG Anil, or
something like that.
Yeah, TCG Anil, on Twitter. Subscribe to the Shift Gear YouTube, and then just comment. Just write a comment that you want to be in the giveaway, or just comment anything on our YouTube, and we'll just automatically
comment your favorite deck. Comment what your favorite deck is right now. And sorry, one more thing. Also follow Manta Trades on Twitter.
Oh, and follow Manta Trades. Yeah.
Yep. So we're gonna go through and choose a random commenter, verify they met all the requirements, and then we will message you and ship it to you entirely for free. 2 Giratina V-Stars, like Kieran said, thankfully from Manta Trades. So if you need anything, they're your guys.
Yeah. No, great store located out in Markham. Every time I come by, always treated super well. They have a great player base if you live in the GTA, or if you ever just visited the GTA, definitely go check them out.
100%. So this week, we were treated to Portland Regionals, and like, something about Portland, there's always some weird stuff going on out there. So we have a lot to go over today in terms of like what did well. There's a lot of decks that I didn't expect to do well that did well. Unfortunately, Guardevoir did not win the tournament like I predicted, but you know what, like, it was one of the big 3, so it really does make sense. So, and like on top of all of that, I think I can speak on behalf of both of us that we're so happy for our boy John Eng, who finally pushed through and got one done.
Yeah, it was long overdue, honestly. It really, I think that was like his like 9th or 10th like top cut in Masters, so no, definitely a deserving player. Nice to see him finally take home a trophy.
It was in like the weirdest way possible too. I don't know if you saw that final.
That finals, like game 1 was crazy, like because they're like, oh, John has this locked up. Then they come back. Game 2, I'm like, oh, it's done. And they come back. Game 3, like, oh, you prized 2 Tina, the game's done. And then Sam was just like, draw a pass or draw a Bisseek. So the finals was great, besides the last game. But no, I definitely recommend watching it if you want an entertaining match.
100%. So let's go over some of these like weird decks that we saw this weekend. Like we can start, like there's obviously a ton of results here on Limitless, but let's start with the top 8. Let's see, let's go through a couple things from the top 8. So the finals was obviously an all Giratina finals, very similar lists as these archetypes kind of tend to be. But there is always a little bit of space for skill expression in those finals, and obviously to get to the finals, you have to be quite a proficient player. So we saw some pretty good gameplay in the finals there. Was there anything about these lists that kind of stood out to you, or they're just kind of bare bones?
Yeah, so a couple things. Both of them don't play Iono. They both play double Roxanne. John played 2 boss, which I think has been, and so did Sam actually. But so I think that's something that people have been talking about. I think just having the option when you're tied or like even you're ahead in a lot of games, to be able to get guaranteed Gust. It does seem most lists play 3 Gust, 2 Countercatcher, 1 boss, or the other way around like these did. And then Sam also played the TM Devolution, which I thought was interesting. That definitely improves your Gardevoir matchup a lot. Just having the ability to like not take prizes right away. So you like disable reverse energy, you disable Countercatcher, and then when you are ready to take a prize, then you just devolve everything. It's also good against Charizard. So to me, that's what sticks out the most. But other than that, no, like I think they're both just pretty standard lists. They both play Pokegear, trying to be consistent. They have the Roxanne. They play 4-Path. Sam didn't play Manaphy, but I think we've been seeing that. It's like a 50-50 split. People play Manaphy or not. So yeah, there's nothing like too crazy. I think Devolution TM is probably the most unique card in this list.
Yeah, I like that, and I actually really like. I really enjoy No Manaphy in Giratina. I don't feel you need it. It's one of those cards like it's gonna be good 1 out of 10 games, and when it's good, it's pretty good. But I don't think it's worth holding that slot. It's the same kind of argument I make for Spiritomb, in Tina. The other thing I really liked about their list is I do like double boss, 1 Countercatcher, but the one thing that Daniel Hugard did actually that we were talking about on Fridays, he played double boss, double Countercatcher, which just allows you a little bit more versatility to kind of like go about taking your prizes and stuff. But I think that 1 Devolution, like you said, like it kind of takes that spot, and it's a good utility card. So instead of having that 4th Gust, you have a Devolution. I think it's fine. So like you said, yeah, both solid lists. When you get to this point of a deck's existence after a year and a bit, like it's kind of refined already what it's going to look like. So yeah, no, that was good. We saw in top 4 Gardevoir and a Meloetta Mew. Did you have any thoughts about that?
Not really. Like both of these aren't really surprising to see. These are both just like standard decks like that we've seen since they've came out. I mean, Bodhi's list, I looked at it. Like I have it pulled up here right now. It's pretty standard. Like there's nothing special in it.
It's very standard. Yeah.
For standard lists. Consistent, double Countercatcher, Collapse, Artisan, Vacuum, 4 Iono, 1 Research. So yeah, like I think it's probably as standard as you can get. So obviously Bodhi piloted super well this weekend. Then Mew, I guess maybe it's different. We have seen DTE Mew do well. I mean, I feel like Fusion Mew and DTE Mew just take turns like doing well. So
yeah,
again, look at this list. There's nothing crazy in it. Same as we've always seen. You know, you got the box of disasters in there. There's Ice Cube, which I think is something that ebbs and flows in play, which was interesting. But yeah, just standard Mew.
I do like me some Ice Cube. I will say I do like Ice Cube a lot, especially in like this format when there's so many like 1 prize Pokemon on the bench and stuff. So I like Ice Cube, gives you a little bit more versatility. As far as the Guardia list goes, the one thing I noticed that stuck out to me was no Avery. So not hitting Mirror, trying to avoid Mirror, or just playing around it. You don't really need it. It's just a win more kind of card. And then also no Turo, which was, I assume he just dodged all the Snorlax. So.
Well, I mean, Giratina, we can talk about this later. It was like the biggest deck in day 2.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just feel like Giratina's kept Snorlax down. And then also Avery's a card where it's like, it's kind of hard to draw if you play 1 copy and you need it. And Bodhi also didn't play Lumineon. Also, you're not going to Lumineon for Avery. That feels horrible. So you really need at least like 2 to 3 copies. So in the early part of the format, like you played Avery to like have a good Chien-Pao matchup, but like that deck doesn't exist anymore. And then sometimes Avery, you're like letting your opponent take a Lumineon off the board or Rotom off the board. So yeah, I'm not super surprised to see Avery get the axe here.
Yeah, me neither. So moving on. So we have in our top 8, we had Azul, Moffat, Makani Tran, and Ian Robb, all very well-established players. Let's start with Moffat's Miraidon list. I never thought I'd see the day where I saw Moffat on Miraidon, but we're here. We're here at that day. There's a lot of interesting things about this list that I want to kind of dive into. The first thing was 2 Raichu V, which is super interesting. And then he also plays a Coco, a Tomb, a Zapdos. There's 2 experience shares. There's still a 2/2 Flaffy with 2 experience shares, and there's a little bit of a hybrid between Path and Beach Core going on in there. So I have a lot of thoughts on this list, but what are your initial thoughts on the list?
Yeah, so I think I can definitely see like what Moffat was going for. Like his cards synergize really well. So you mentioned Double Raichu and Experience Share, like those go together. I think definitely looking at this list, Moffat was trying to improve his Charizard matchup. So it's really hard to Raichu like multiple times, or even one time sometimes. Like you need 6 energy to knock out a Charizard, or even like a Guard EX, for example. So the Experience Share basically just like represents 6 damage staying on the board, and you can just put it on your like lowest priority on the bench that your opponent's not going to boss to just like keep them in play. So I really like that. Coco again, similar idea. Like a lot of Charizard decks play one switch card, so if you just Vengeful Shock a Charizard, you can normally get it stuck there, get another 2 prizes, so that's nice. Spiritomb for Mew. He's just wanting to be super teched out. He still has the Squawk, so no, I think it's an interesting take. It's like a best of both worlds type of thing, where he still has some of that speed. He like cut some of the consistency to add this in, but the power level was extremely high.
Yeah, and I like the combo of Coco with Path as well, right? So you obviously shut off the Pidgeot and then go in with the Coco. The other thing I wanted to say about this that I actually really, really liked is the fact you only played 2 Miraidon. I feel like you get to a point in the game where once you have one down, you just don't need it anymore. So I like that kind of like space conserving that's going on with Miraidon lists now, how they're like cutting one Miraidon. And then the other thing is no Bravery Charm, which personally would give me fits, but he managed to do well. This deck was very anti-Charizard. It also has a pretty good Tina matchup just because you have Coco EX, so you can hit like with the Iono Coco. It's pretty good on a Tina because they struggle to move that a lot of the time. So yeah, I can definitely see how he did well. He's obviously a fantastic player, so it all kind of works out there. Moving on to Makani's list. Unless, do you have any final thoughts about Moffat, or are we good?
No, I was just gonna look up how many Charizards he beat on the weekend, and he didn't play against the one, so I guess like we didn't get to see his theory. Yeah, but he did do very well against Giratina. He went 1, 2, 3. He went 4-1 against Tina, then he tied his last one. So I think it was an ID. So so really good.
It's a very diverse top 8 as well. Like there's a lot going on here, which is good. And like honestly, bro, that's the thing I love about these formats. Like stick around forever. You have time, and like people have time to like just diversify everything and make everything kind of good. So last year, like we didn't really feel that because Lugia was just dominating for like 6 months. But this year, I think there's like 4 or 5 good decks that can win a tournament at any time. So moving on here to Makani's list, and this is cool. This is an Arceus Regigigas deck. I don't even know where to begin unpacking this.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's a Judge Path deck. Actually, he only plays 1 Judge, so like he's basically just saying like I'm gonna Starbirth for it on the second turn if I want to go for that. But I mean, anyways, he plays Iono Path, and then the Gigas is like a mega tank. So I guess against decks like Miraidon, for example, like they're gonna have a hard time knocking that out. Against Charizard, like they might have a hard time knocking that out, and he plays the double Charon Scare as well. So I mean, trying to manipulate the price trade. They also play the Zacian V, so like turn 1, you can like kind of like spread your energy and protect against like a boss or something, which I thought was interesting. Yeah, I don't have too much to say. Like this deck doesn't feel very strong looking at it, but like I must be missing something. Like I don't know.
You also didn't have Arceus V-Star in your top 10 cards of 2023, so
yeah, I mean, I just don't like Arceus. Like
I know, neither do I. I agree.
It's just like I look at this and I'm like, I feel like its Giratina matchup on paper should not be good because Arceus just gets knocked out by like 280. If you Gigas, like they can just Star Requiem. I feel like its Gardevoir matchup like can't be that good because it's not that hard to one-shot these, especially when Reversal Energy starts getting into the equation. But I mean, I'm looking at his Pokestats. Like he beat 2 Gardevoir. He went 1-1-1 against Tina. His one loss was John Ang, and then he ID'd at the end. So I don't know. I feel like he probably like hit a lot of good matchups because just in my head, like this has a bad Tina and Gardevoir matchup, and that's like 30% of the meta. So
yeah, I'm surprised to see no V-Guard energy in here. To be honest with you, it's surprising to me. And then the other thing is too, like he does play the Jirachi. He plays Squovid. He plays like all these like random 60 HP Pokemon that are in trouble a lot of the time against Tina. So I don't know how that matchup goes, but it can't be good. Moving on, so Azul had the same Charizard list. We've kind of been over it. It's bread and butter. Ian Rob, DT Mew with hey, you know what? I have a personal I like this list. This is almost exactly what I played to Worlds. It's like a DT Mew with like a couple fusion energy just to get out of Tomb. So I mean I like the idea. It's like I just didn't feel like it was practical anymore with how much Gardevoir was running around, but and like Tina as well is not fantastic of a matchup if they can start Requiem and go through another one. But whatever, he did well. He's better.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yep, I like it. I mean, we do see Spiritomb Respect, so it's like a little 3-card package, which is actually a lot to protect against 1 card, but...
Yeah. There's a lot of Mew up here, though. Like, a lot.
Mew has a lot of space in the deck list, but yeah, Mew did really well this tournament. It had 3, 4, 5, 6. It had 6 in top 32. Actually, it had 6 in top 16, which is, like, insane.
That's insane, dude.
I don't know the last time that's happened. Like, that's like 38%, which is, and like, it's day 2 play, like, wasn't that, like, high. So, like, there's 14 in day 2, and 6 of them made top 16. So, like, it just outperformed like crazy. Mew will never die. Yeah, the deck's just super solid.
Yeah, there's a lot of Mew up here. There's some cool decks up here though that I do want to talk about. So one deck that we saw emerge a little bit in terms of like not so much placements, but more so just like the amount played was Roaring Moon, which is something that kind of like creeping up to this event we kind of saw coming a little bit. It started to pop up a little bit more. It started to do well. And I think people are starting to realize, like, the deck is more like Miraidon. Like, you're just trying to kill their best attackers as early as you can and just hope that you can kind of cruise off of aggression alone. So people are getting that. People are taking the Iron Hands. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. And there's also Gholdengo, which is very exciting.
Yeah, so Roaring Moon is interesting because I was looking at the people who did well, and, like, they still all play different lists. There's still not a consensus on how to play the deck. I saw Ross Cawthon had a very interesting build. He only played 2 Sada, and he played Research and like 2 Galarian Moltres. He's like, that's how I think I should power them up, which was interesting. But yeah, I think the deck has a couple things going for it. It has a strong Giratina matchup, which obviously is very good in this format. Its Charizard matchup is actually pretty decent too. I mean, like, because once you get to the trading part of the game, like, it's fine to just like knock yourself out if you're taking 2 prizes. Its Gardevoir matchup is still horrendous. Like, that's your worst matchup for sure, but like we see, like, Guardevoir's like a 10% deck. Like, you don't have to be that scared of it. It's like good into Miraidon in my opinion as well, just since it's like lower maintenance for you to maintain knockouts. I don't know, it's actually pretty solid. It's very linear. That's the problem with it. Like, and it's boom or bust. Like, if you miss your turn 1 attack, the game is like done on the spot pretty much. So I do think this deck is going to start creeping up in play a little bit more, especially now that it's like starting to see some results, getting some traction. But yeah, I don't know what the list is going to be. I really like the just consistent like Pokestop, Trekking Shoes, like cross switcher version of playing the deck. I don't like starting to put in like Darkrai and all this stuff to it. I think the deck has like one strategy. It's like go fast, take knockouts. I think you should like focus on that. Like play 4 Energy Switch, play 4 Patch, 4 Stop, 4 Shoes, like 4 Earth and Vessel. Like, to me, that's how the deck should be played. I don't think it has enough flexibility.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the deck's like strategy, like, I don't think you need to start like mucking it up by putting in like all this like extra like stuff. Like, just focus on being fast and taking knockouts. That's what the deck should focus on.
Yeah, and in like absolute shift gear podcast fashion, we will say there's not a lot of great players playing this deck typically. So that's also a barrier to it. Ross Cawthon is a fantastic player. I was very surprised to see him playing this deck. But typically this is more of like a big boom deck that the top players tend to like to avoid. But it's good. It's good to see it do well, and I hope people start picking it up because I think it's a really cool deck, and it's one of those ones that is probably going to survive rotation pretty well. Like, it's going to be one of those decks that you're going to see for a little while, so it's nice to see it kind of peek out. The coolest tech, I think, in Ross's list, and there's a lot of them, but Emergency Jelly is actually a fantastic tech when you think about it. I'm surprised it's the first time I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with Emergency Jelly, like, even in Ross's list, like, he doesn't play Town Store, so it's like, how am I finding this? I mean, you do go through your deck really fast, but like, you play Pokestop too, right? So, like, you're gonna discard it sometimes. I don't know. If you do pull it off, it's super strong because like you stop your opponent from like just using like a little Pokemon to take out your Roaring Moon. And he also played the 2 Ancient Booster Capsules, so not a lot of decks play Vacuum. So, yeah, just having that, like, if you put a Booster Capsule and you just use Calamity Storm, like, it's not trivial to knock out a Roaring Moon that has 290 HP for a lot of decks. So yeah, I think that's interesting. The list that placed highest, Raymond Liu, he played 3 Town Store. He played the Town Store build. So you're giving up a little bit of consistency and speed, but in exchange, like, you have access to Forest Stone, you get the Booster Capsule easier. So that's definitely interesting to me. Yeah, because I don't actually play the Booster Capsule in my build right now, just because I went all consistency, but it might be something I mess around with. So yeah, maybe I'll play Roaring Moon at League Cups or something, see if this deck is real.
Why not, right? Like, we're at that point of the season where just YOLO, have fun. Let's get to the part that I know you want to get to. This has been pretty crazy to see. Chien-Pao has top 32 to regionals.
Yeah, I mean, it was
crazy.
It was Jared Grimes, the C-Pao believer. This guy's, I think he's made day 2 almost every time he plays C-Pao. So I don't have a lot to say here. He played the version without Iron Hands. He literally just played Grand Shen's list from last format. So I was actually talking to Lucas before the tournament. He was considering doing that as well. The idea being you just want to go back to consistency and all that. I do think if you play it without Iron Hands, your Miraidon and your Roaring Moon matchup go way down. But you're like, and consistency across the board like goes way up. I still lean towards Iron Hands just since I think it gives you like an aggressive option. Like if you leave an Iron Hands and play, like you don't have to worry about your backs getting knocked out. But no, I said I think Chien-Pao was in a decent spot. And like after like a lot of tournaments of Chien-Pao flopping, it's nice to see we still had 3 in day 2 here. So still not doing well, but like it's hanging on by a thread.
It's alive, dude. It's alive.
So
That's all we need.
I just wrote an article for PokeBeach on Chien-Pao, so I don't know when that's going to come out, but if you guys want to go read my thoughts, it'll be there as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I think anything else? Snorlax was hanging around again. I don't know. I think it was just a tough tournament for Snorlax with all the Giratina. I mean, 20% of day 2 is Tina, so Snorlax is not going to have a fun time.
I saw that one person like playing Snorlax who hit like Tina to open day 2.
Yeah, Hale got
do?
no, you can't do anything. Like if you face Tina, it's just like all right, like good game. But Hale did get top 32 with the Pidgeot control deck again. Also, I just want to shout out Hale. Like this guy has the nicest Limitless page I've ever seen. Like his lowest result is a 31st. It's so nice. It's like 2nd, 31st, 17th, 2nd, 3rd, 1st, 8th, 20th. Like this is just clean.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm looking at it. This is insane.
Yeah, so no, I think this Pidgeot deck, like Pidgeot Snorlax, I think it's a little underexplored. Everyone's just like focusing on the normal Snorlax, but introducing Luxray V gives the deck like so much options. Because like one of the problems when you play normal Snorlax is if your opponent does have text for you, like for example, say Guardevoir plays like Turo or something, it's like they can just hold that until like they're ready to like really pull it off on you. So just being able to go aggressive with Luxray. And like if you keep like counter catching and like you keep Ionoing, you keep like spamming them, like eventually you're gonna get to stick and like you can just start pulling things out and get them stuck. So I really like that. And he also added a Radiant Charizard and Chi-Yu EX this time around. So the Radiant Charizard in there, I guess, is like just to take out threats late in the game. Because a common strategy is you like set up one Pokemon against stall because you don't want to have things bossed and all that. So yeah, if your opponent goes like a solo Pokemon strat, you can just take it out with Charizard, which is interesting. Chi-Yu, its attack is just discard top 2 of your opponent's deck. So I guess late in the game, once you do have your opponent like fully locked and like out of resources, this just accelerates it to try and help you with time. So no, I think it's really creative. I think this deck is very good and underplayed and underexplored. Its Tina matchup is still not good, but I think this has pretty positive matchups against the rest of the format.
And in also very exciting news, this is a Chi-Yu EX debut for Limitless. It's a big debut, yeah. Limitless had never seen Chi-Yu EX before. To be honest with you, I had to hover over it to know what it did. So, hey, respects. Chi-Yu EX coming to a stall near you. Last one I wanted to touch on before we kind of get over this whole thing is Gholdengo, my boy.
You go nuts with Gholdengo.
Yeah, go crazy with Gholdengo. So this was like a spin off the Japanese list. So I played the Palkias and played the Greninja with the switchers. But the one cool thing it had in it is Zinnia's Resolve. And I really like this card because when I was playing Gholdengo, I've been playing a lot with my clients this week, just playing Gholdengo and trying to refine it and stuff. I like Zinnia's because the old list played 4-worker, right? So you're drawing 3 cards a turn, but the only way you really lose is if you don't draw what you need. So Zinnia's just drawing you an extra 2-3 cards is all the difference in the world. And you're not like a typical deck that can play Research or Iono or any of that stuff. So I like this. I like this a lot. This double Zinnia's business is pretty good. One Super Rod's good. I just like this list. It's fun.
Yeah. What do you think about not playing Milotic? Because this list does seem a little weak to like Roxanne Path. I mean, you do play 4-stop 3-worker, but like you're saying, like you are a combo deck late in the game. Like you need a lot of cards. So I know I saw another person in day 2 was playing the Milotic. I just pulled it up here. Yeah, like Franksoul, and I think no, Tony wasn't. Tony was playing Toadscroll EX and Gimmighoul. Interesting. We can talk about that, but yeah. Like, so do you think like it's okay to play the deck without the Milotic?
The Milotic has felt like super pretty so far. Like it's one of those things like it's super win more, and it's like it's been tough like in actuality to get that card out a lot of the time just because you play a 1/1, you play a 1/1 Palkia. Like there's just so many 1-ofs that like the deck gets kind of convoluted. The one thing I would say is like I've been playing a build with one of my students that plays heavy ball. So you kind of just go in with heavy ball and you kind of mitigate that whole, oh, I prized one piece of this and now the whole strategy is kind of overturned thing. So I don't mind it. I do think you need a heavy ball or you need some sort of like maybe a thicker line of some sort. I just don't like playing 1/1 Palkia. So if like playing Milotic is sacrificing 1/1 line of Palkia, I'm not a huge fan, but if you can make it work with both, then yeah, I think it's great.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I haven't really played this deck, so I'm not an expert on it, but it seems fun. So
It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to give it a try.
What does Toadscroll EX do? Prevent all effects. Okay, that seems pretty good actually.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Okay. What effect are you trying to block? Like Star Requiem, you block.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, wait, does Star Requiem go through it? No, Star Requiem goes through it. You block Sableye.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't go through it.
It doesn't?
No, prevent all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to all your Pokemon.
But doesn't Giratina say ignore all effects on your opponent's Pokemon?
No, I don't think it does.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, the V-Star no.
Oh, okay, then yeah, you do stop it then. Never mind.
Yeah. It also stops Stabilize, so I think it's more so just to help your Gimmighouls survive because they just have awful hit points, right? So, like a big downfall of Gholdengo itself is the fact that the Call for Family one's at 50 HP, similar to Pidgey. So if you have a 50 and a 70 on your bench, you're one Sableye away from getting that wiped. So most of the lists play like a 2/2 blend. So what this one does is, they also play a 2/2 blend. This is Tony Vuong, really cool guy. I don't know if you've ever met him. He's a funny guy. But basically, like you play both, and then you block it with the Toadscroll so that your Sableye can kind of, their Sableye doesn't really do a whole lot. But like what I do like about Gholdengo overall right now is that I feel like people just don't really rate it as a deck. Like there's not a lot of attention being put into it, so you can kind of get away by just blowing stuff up and having people be unprepared for what you can do. So I do like that.
Yeah. There's a couple more fun decks. There was an Iron Valiant Greedent. I don't know if you saw that one.
I did, yeah.
So the idea is you just soften things up with Valiant and then you turn a profit for 30 once they're low to take them out.
That's so jokes.
Yeah, and then you put like Toy Catcher, which was cool. I don't know if that card has made a Limitless before. Oh no, it has actually, but no, that was cool. I thought that was fun. There was an Arceus Superior deck that made top 32, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. I played against one of those at LAIC actually. But yeah, like it's like we're saying, like there's tons of options in this format. You can do well with whatever. So no, I think we're in a healthy spot right now.
Yeah, no, I like the format right now, and I think it's only going to get better as people diversify more and more. So now we're kind of entering that stretch of like, there's a lot of tournaments coming up like pretty fast, and people are starting to look forward to UIC stuff like that. So I actually just wrote an article too about like mental states in Pokemon and like what to do if you're in a slump, because I find that this time of year, at least for myself, is like when you're stuck in a stale format and you've tried like every single deck there is to offer, it's easy to get stuck in a slump. And it's easy to kind of get in this place where you're like, all right, nothing works for me. I hate this format. What do I do to be successful? So just like keeping that in mind for the next like 4 months, what would be your suggestions for some of these people maybe struggling to kind of get out of these slumps and maybe not finding a deck that really resonates with them?
Yeah, my advice would be just like keep playing. Like eventually you're gonna break through if you just like play well. But like if you're like not enjoying a deck, like just switch. Like don't get stuck. And then maybe if you can't find a deck you like, just pick a tier 1 deck. Like pick Tina, pick Charizard, pick Gardevoir, and just be like, all right, I'm just going to play this anyways and main it. If you're a strong player and you play a good deck, like that's normally like going to lead to good results. And then like if you are burnt out, you're not doing well, like honestly just take a tournament or 2 off, like recharge. Like don't, like Pokemon should be fun. So like don't put yourself through tournaments just for the sake of doing tournaments.
Yeah, that helped me a lot too. Like I was going through a rough spot this year too, and I just took like 2 weeks off. I didn't think about Pokemon once, and I just felt like so refreshed when I got back. Like you feel you actually want to work again. So I agree with that. I agree with that fully. Other than that, there's not a whole lot going on this next week. We have Charlotte in a couple weeks, but not a whole lot going on Pokemon-wise. There are a couple leaks of the new set. Nothing really too groundbreaking from what I've seen.
I mean, there was the Poffin card. That's pretty good.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I forgot about that. So VIP's back.
Yeah, VIP's back, but only for 70 HP or less Pokemon. So it's basically just a buff to any evolution deck, which is massive, which I really am excited about. I mean, Charizard's already good, so this is going to like be even better for it. But just like if you want to play any deck that evolves now, you have this. And having the option to use this throughout the game is like massive. Like, one of the problems is like if you whiff VIP pass turn 1, like you have to rely on like Nest Ball and Ultra Ball the rest of the game, which feels really bad. So yeah, now just being able to get like 2 Gimmighoul, 2 Ralts, 2 Charmander, 2 Pidgey, like whatever, like it's super good. And like Lost Zone decks can use this, but like it only grabs Comfey. But maybe Lost Zone decks start playing like Ditto now, because Ditto can be grabbed off this. So no,
True.
really, really, really good card. I'm really happy with it. Emil, what do you think?
I like it. I think it's anytime we can slow down the format, I'm happy, or make like these evolution decks a little bit better. I'm happy. So that's solid. I'm happy to see that kind of go. The one thing I wanted to touch on before we hopped off is Moonlit Hill. I think that's what it's called. That's a cool card, bro. And like, what do you think is going to be the composition of these Guardia lists now? So what do you cut to accommodate for Moonlit Hill?
I mean, you kind of have to cut maybe like the Vacuum. I mean, okay, right now it's like Vacuum, Artisan, Collapsed. I don't think you can cut Collapse. The effect is too strong. Artisan, you're cutting consistency. Like, Vacuum is not a consistency card, but it's just like nice. So like, Vacuum's probably the first one to go. But if you're playing like a lot of consistency, like Lumineon or something, like maybe Artisan can go. Because it is super strong having the option to basically now Arcana, like you can put 8 on it, like just by using that card. So if you put 8, like you're one-shotting everything, I think, right? Not everything.
Not VMAXs.
VMAXs, but you're pretty much like you can attach and one-shot everything. So yeah, I think it'll be good.
I like it too. I'm excited to see it come out. I didn't know if we were really gonna get it just because of like the way the release pattern went and how we didn't have it for so long, but happy we're getting it here.
I think someone said the only tournament this is going to be legal for before rotation is Vancouver. So like we might only see Guardevoir use it once. Yeah. But like just another thing is like from looking at results in Japan, like a lot of times when I look at Guardevoir lists, like they don't even play this card. So like I don't even know how big it will be. Like it'll at most be a one-off, I think. Because yeah, it's kind of hard to draw when you need it as well. Like there's no stadium search.
It's discard an energy, draw and heal, right?
Yeah, from everything.
That's kind of tough, bro. Like you're coexisting with Greninja too. It's kind of tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's like good, but like it's not like crazy broken. Like I think what people thought when it first got revealed.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of fall and reversal energies just because of this.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple other cards I thought were interesting. There's one called Mist Energy. It's like if it's attached to a Pokemon, prevent all effects of attacks. So basically stop Star Requiem, stop Sableye. It's pretty good. It's like Stealthy Hood back in the day. So some decks can probably fit this in. I mean, there's no way to like search energy right now, special energy. That's like really popular. So again, like you're gonna have to like probably play this in higher counts. Yeah, I don't know. Any other commentary on that, Neil?
Yeah.
Dude, it's the time of the year, man. Like there's just not a whole lot going on. We're like dying for card scans. It is what it is. But yeah, you're right. It's a cool card, but like we also don't know how this is going to impact the meta until it kind of drops itself. What I'm looking to do for the next few weeks, and like actually we didn't even discuss this on off air, but whatever. Hopefully we can get in a cool guest next week to do like a deck profile for us. Looking to do that, just kind of spice up our content like going forward. This giveaway for Manta is a huge thing for us to kind of give back to all of you guys who are here every single week listening to us babble on sometimes for 30 minutes about Portland, Oregon regionals, and we appreciate that. So yeah, we're always here. We're always open to suggestions as well, and like I want to do another Ask Me Anything episode again. That was so much fun. So hopefully we can do that soon.
Yeah, 100%. Would love to do that.
Yeah, that's all we got this week for you guys. This is a super short episode. Damn. We gotta run some more ad rolls or something, bro. We need like 6 more sponsors for the end. $5. I'll say whatever you want me to say.
Yeah, I mean we've had 2 great back-to-back sponsors to lead off our episode, so hopefully we can keep them coming.
Yeah, I don't know why Ali Reza Shorman didn't call me back this week.
I know, man. I thought the ad read was pretty good.
Yeah, dude, honestly, for what it was, I thought I did an alright job, but maybe it wasn't good enough. So we have a really funny one for next week, actually, that was sent in by a listener already. So I'm excited to deliver that one. Y'all should be excited to hear that one. For the giveaway as well, I didn't mention, but it's the winner's going to be announced next week on next week's episode. Just at the beginning, so you don't have to listen to the whole thing. Just pop in here if it's your name, and then DM us to claim it. But yeah, we're giving away those. Just a reminder: follow all of us, subscribe, and comment your favorite deck down below. And if you put I don't know, Greed and VMAX, you might get an extra point or two. But you didn't hear that here, so. All the best, everybody, in your weekly endeavors. Get out, get some league cups, some league challenges. Get those finishes done, man. We're almost at that time of year where you don't want to be doing those anymore. So do those at your leisure or get them done, and we'll see you back next week.
Yep. Take it easy, everyone.
Peace.